Welcome to my channel, Crafty Fox DIYs. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to make sugar-free ketchup. Okay, let's get into it. To make sugar-free ketchup, you want to use 1 3/4 cups of tomatoes. You can either use canned tomatoes or you can use some that you have grown yourself in your garden or gotten from a farmer's market. Whatever you choose. You can also use any kind of tomatoes, any color of tomatoes. I like to use a combination, different kinds of tomatoes. So what I'm doing here is putting the tomatoes into a pot of boiling water so that I can remove the skins from the tomatoes. Once the water starts boiling, I add my tomatoes and I let them stay in the water for a minute or two so that the skin will be easy to peel off. Whenever the skin starts to split is when I will remove them from the water. That lets you know that it has been done enough that you can pull the skin off very easily. You can see here how the skin is split, and that way I'll be able to get the skin off of the tomatoes. If you use canned tomatoes, you won't need to remove the skin because the skin will already be removed. After I remove the tomatoes from the boiling water, then I will soak them in some cold water. You could use ice water if you wanted to, but I just used the water by itself, and that will cool it down so that you can touch them with your hands in order to remove the skin from them. Okay, now I've got all of my tomatoes in some cold water, so they're cool enough now that I can touch them to remove the skin, and you can see how easily the skin just peels right off of the tomatoes. And then once you get the skin off, then you just want to cut the tomato up. I'm just going to dice the tomatoes, and then I'm going to put them into a measuring cup. You want about 1 3/4 cups of tomatoes. It can be a little more, a little less. You don't need to adjust the additional ingredients in any way. Everything will just work out. I am going to be making a double batch, so I am going to be using 3 1/2 cups of tomatoes altogether, and then I will double up my seasonings and apple cider vinegar. But that's the only thing you would need to do. I'm just showing you in this video how to make just a single batch, which is 1 3/4 cups of tomatoes. And then I'm just going to keep cutting these tomatoes up like this until I have my 1 3/4 cups, and then I will put them into a blender. Okay, put those in the blender, and then I am going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and also a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Then I'm just going to turn this on high until everything is completely blended and smooth. It doesn't take very long at all. Okay, once that's done, then I am going to take the mixture and pour it into a saucepan. You want a saucepan that's adequate enough to hold all of your mixture. And then I will put it on the stove at about medium high until it starts boiling. And then once it starts boiling, I will turn the heat down and to medium and let it simmer for about an hour until it thickens up. Now, since I made a double batch, I had to let mine simmer for about 15 more minutes. You just want to keep stirring it about every 10-15 minutes so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. And you can also check the thickness this way also. You want to leave your lid at a tilt so that a lot of the moisture and the steam can get out. Okay, now I'm just going to stir it up here and show you. See how it's thickened up, more like ketchup? That's good. Then once I stir it a little bit, then I'm going to let it sit and let it completely cool down. I'm also going to leave the lid tilted on the pan while it is cooling. Once it is completely cool, then I'm going to put it into an airtight container and then store it in my refrigerator, and it will keep in there for about 3 weeks. If you want to add a sugar substitute to this ketchup, you can do that. I choose to add none at all, and I think it tastes just great. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.